Well, let me just kick us off with the first question. What is an Instagram influencer, and what is the Instagram influencer market?
Well, an Instagram influencer, by most accounts, is anyone that has more than like 10,000 followers or so. There is a category below that, like 6 to 10, where it's like a micro influencer. But basically, what an influencer is it's someone who's built up a following on Instagram and is now utilizing that to provide advertisement for different companies that want to sponsor them.
Okay, okay, Luke, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, influencers are it's interesting because it's new. It's like a modern day celebrity, right? So we think of like, oh, all these people in Hollywood, Keanu Reeves, like Johnny Depp, and all these big wig actors. With the rise of social media has followed this idea of an influencer, someone who it has a position where they do a specific topic, they talk about something, whether they are, talking about fitness or talking about fishing or talking about, painting and those sorts of things. And they're becoming influencers and they're influencing people to either get into a topic or explore something, and they grow these massive fan bases. And it's really fun to see because this happens outside of Instagram as well. I think it really mostly took that kind of idea took off on YouTube, but Instagram is the perfect place for it. So they're basically like these mini celebrities almost. And some of them get to the point where they are as big, if not bigger, than some of the celebrities we grew up watching on TV.
Hmm. So you mean these influencers are not the celebrities from Hollywood?
Some of them are actually. So this might gripe some people on the internet. Um, but yeah, there are influencers can technically be also just the celebrities that you follow who are in Hollywood.
Hmm.
Will Smith is a really good example of that. He has his own YouTube channel. He's on Instagram. They're doing those things. The Rock is there, right? The Rock posts. I personally don't usually follow a whole lot of celebrities on Instagram. But one that I do follow is Henry Cavill, and you might have seen him in like The Witcher, or he as his role as Superman. Um, he's kind of one of those guys where you know he posts about the things that he loves and the things that he does. And he's a celebrity, but I would also technically classify him as an influencer because, yeah, he's on the social media platform. So it's just a new way of kind of like defining what a celebrity is, right? Because celebrities have kind of always had an influence over, what we wear and fashion trends and those sorts of things.
Yeah. So the guy who, wait, hold on, pause. The guy who's Superman is the guy who starred in The Witcher.
Yeah,
It,
Geralt, he plays Geralt.
okay, this is. I'm just now connecting those dots. So that's just a
Yeah.
side point. It dawned on me. I knew he looked familiar, but it was that long flowing hair that
Yep.
just got me. So off topic. So how many followers do I need to have before I become an Instagram influencer?
Well, I mean, kind of like I said before, like there is like smaller communities that have kind of created like influencers, and the more niche, I think that the category that you fit in, the smaller that number has to be because those people are like very specifically into that person, and so it still might have a marketable audience, even if it is below like that 6 or 10 grand that I talked about before. But typically, the definition would be like over 10,000. But even there, that's quite a small influencer in comparison to some of the really big ones out there.
Luke, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, really anywhere from that 6 to 10 is kind of, where you see kind of those micro influencers. And then anything above that, I mean, there are some people that I follow that specifically do a lot with photography, and they're only at that, like, in between that 6 to 10K, and I would consider them an influencer, and more specifically a micro influencer. And they're helping people, and they have a platform now to kind of like show what they create and show what they like to do. So I think anywhere between that range, you're in a good spot if you're interested in becoming an influencer. And if you're a marketer, it's especially important because there's a lot of positive things that can come from those micro influencers, and those big ones as well. So, and I believe that's something that we're going to kind of get into a little bit more later on. But just keep that in mind that, if you're a small business and you're looking to market on Instagram, um, partnering with influencers is a really positive thing. And there's influencers who do literally everything. If you can name it, you can find it, right? I'm sure there's probably not necessarily an influencer who's like, you know, I'm a roofer, right? But you never know. There could be. You have no idea.
Yeah, well, actually, one of the Instagram influencers that I follow, BuildWit, is a guy who just goes to construction sites and like walks around and like takes pictures of their big equipment. And he's got, I think he had like over 50,000 followers, and all he's doing is advertising good construction companies to work for. So, Instagram influencers, the content does not need to be complicated. For those of you who are listening, and at this point you're just like, I just want to market on Instagram, and you're like, when are they going to tell me how to just buy ads?
You can do ads.
You can do ads now?
You can do ads. Yeah. So what they did is,
For ads?
yeah, so it pulls up in someone's timeline and feed. And it'll kind of track you because you'll get stuff from whatever based on, cookies or little
Yeah.
things in your browser that recognize your history. Um, But yeah, they are doing ads on Instagram now. You can do Instagram campaigns and specifically target audiences, and when you're scrolling through your feed, it'll just pop up and it'll tell you like shop now or yada yada. And when it first came out, I was like really surprised because I passed one and was like,
Is that an
was
ad?
that I didn't follow that person. Was that an advertisement? And it took me by surprise because they integrate it so well into the system where when it first started, you didn't really know if it was an ad or not because that was something that was new to the platform.
You
But
thought it was
now
just
it's
another
pretty
post.
clearly, yeah. But now it's very clearly, this is an advertisement. Um, so you can run ads on Instagram. That is 100% a thing, and Facebook is going to take as much money as they can, and so now they've invaded their platform of Instagram.
Really?
Yep, they've started to do that now. So influencer marketing isn't the only thing, but I think it's good to have a mixture of both. Oh, yeah. So 39% of marketers surveyed with a digital marketing budget above 500,000 plan to increase their influencer marketing budget. So it's like that's almost like half of people with $500,000 to play around with on digital marketing are going to increase that into influencer marketing because it's very lucrative. I mean, you look at if you've been on YouTube before, you see people talk about Raycons, right? These little earbuds and stuff. Um, they made their name just off of doing that, right? It's same thing with Raid Shadow Legends, okay? I know it's a joke sometimes and a lot of people make fun of it, but Raid Shadow Legends has a lot of people that downloaded it because they put money into sponsoring videos and working with influencers. And I guarantee you they did the same thing on Instagram and they didn't just do it on YouTube, right? So you can do influencer marketing outside of Instagram, but for Instagram, I think it's really important to kind of find a balance and not just put all of your money into one thing. And influencers are pretty open to working with you, especially those micro influencers, right? You'd be like, hey, look, would you be willing to promote our product? Here is, we'll give you some stuff to try out and you just talk about it and tag us in it, right? Like you can do that, or you'd be like, we'll give you this much money and we'll send you a free product, whatever. And a lot of those smaller influencers, like they have a fan base, but they're only really going to work with products that they like. So if you got a quality product and they like your stuff, right, they'll do it, right? And you can usually negotiate. When you get to those bigger influencers, they're going to cost a lot more. So if you have a small budget, stick with those niche ones, right? And spread it out. Don't just go into one influencer. Talk to 10, talk to 20, talk to a ton of them, and just whoever hits, right?